empower you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Good evening, Warriors. Welcome to Relationship Monday on Warriors Talk, where we move away from awareness towards action. Tonight, we're diving into a topic that affects relationships, communication versus confrontation. Sometimes we think we're communicating, but it often feels like we are in combat. So, how do we bridge the gap between confusion and clarity? Go ahead, grab your tea, your water, and your journals and join in on this conversation. On the last episode of Warriors Talk, I discussed what happens after October. Now that Breast Cancer Awareness Month is over, what do you do? What actions do you take moving forward? Head on over to YouTube and type in Intellectual Radio and stay connected for any episodes you may have missed. The quote of the day is communication is a bridge between confusion and clarity. If you are tuned in on any form of social media, please like the show, share the show, and invite somebody else in on the show that you feel may benefit from this valuable information. I'm so grateful for my sponsor on today. We have Pastor Michael Richardson with the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ, who has a special message for us.
Greetings, I am Pastor Michael Richardson.
And I am First Lady Anastasia Richardson from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We're located at 3058 West Van Buren in Chicago, Illinois. We are building upon a solid foundation.
And we're inviting you to join us every Sunday morning on Facebook Live at Emmanuel Kojic at 10:15 Central Standard Time. And you can also view our videos on our YouTube channel at Emmanuel Kojic-MR. Once again, this is Pastor Michael Richardson
and First Lady Anastasia Richardson. And we're from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We are building upon a solid foundation.
Co-hosting with me today is none other than the cancer activist, motivational speaker, and the founder of the Gal Foundation, Rizal Gilmore, a.k.a. The Biz. Hey, Rizal.
Hey, Lady ReShell.
What's up?
Ooh, this is going to be a good topic.
It is.
How was the event?
Oh, it was so nice. We ended up blessing Tracy Kincaid. I don't know if you know or not. She has been diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer now. And so we blessed her with $1,000. We gave her an award. So she was our warrior in battle as well as our survivor of the year. Yeah, so it was nice.
Oh, congrats to her.
Yes. Yeah, so keep her in your prayers. She's doing really good right now, but you know how that can be. So, yeah.
Man, it's just this disease, I swear. It just
Never ending. Yes, so that's why we go hard for what we do when it comes to advocating and moving away from awareness towards action. It's the action that we want you guys to get.
absolutely.
But today is Relationship Monday, and we're talking about communication or confrontation.
Oh, yeah.
And first up is the tone test. Sometimes we think when we're communicating, our tone is saying one thing, but the person who's receiving the message is hearing something totally different. So, how are you communicating as it relates to your tone?
Is this the one where they say it's not what you say, but how you say it?
Yes. The tone in your conversation, it can either turn into a full-blown argument, or it could just be a simple conversation depending on how you say it and what you say. Like for me, I know I'm really sarcastic, so if you don't know me, then you may be like, oh, you may take it the wrong way. But if you know me, you're like, that's just her. That's how she is. But depending on who's listening, it could be something totally different. So we do have to watch our tone when you're talking to people. Um, there's a saying, know your audience. Always know your audience when you're having a conversation so that you know what to say and how to say it.
Yeah. Over the years, I've had to check myself about the tone, and it's always, bring it down, say it, say it nicely. Because a person could go from 0 to 100 in a snap.
Yes. And some people, they end up shutting down, and not because of the message, but because of the delivery of the message. So you can't fix what you can't keep fighting, yelling, and thinking that you're gonna fix the problem. You want that person to hear you, so you figure you get louder and louder and louder, and maybe they'll hear you and be quiet. No, there are people out there that will just shut down and be like, okay, they checked out of the argument a long time ago. You still going? So your tone is very important when it comes to a relationship. When I was younger, my I was one of those people that would, if you wouldn't even really be able to get a sentence in, because I'm like I'm at it. I'm already responding, telling you my side. As I've gotten older, I've learned to just sit back, relax, observe, and just kind of listen, because people will tell you everything you need to know if you just sit back and just listen to them.
Yeah, nowadays I don't even say much of anything. I let them go ahead and blow their smoke because more than likely, like you said, I'm shut down. I don't want to hear it anyway. So you can go ahead and you can yell, blow a head gasket, whatever it is that you want to do. But guess what? I'm keeping my peace.
Yes, exactly. Well, according to statistics result, it says 65% of divorces are due to communication breakdown.
Do you believe that?
I do, because people, you may not be, it has something to do with communication. Maybe you're not communicating what it is that you need. Maybe y'all not communicating about finances. Maybe it could be something, but I feel like it all leads back to communicating with that person. If you want more sex and you're not saying, you're not being honest, like it all goes back to communication. That's how I feel.
Okay,
You don't feel that way?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Mm-hmm.
well, we're going to keep diving deeper into it because I know it's going to come up again. What's
So
number
I would
two?
so I would say, before we go to number two, I would say make sure you choose your tone wisely when you're talking to somebody. Like if you're talking to, say, your children, or is a 3 year old, you're not gonna be yelling to the top of your lungs, because you do that. What the baby's gonna do? The baby is gonna start crying. That cry is gonna elevate, and then you gotta try to calm the baby down, and now you forgot what you was arguing about. So if you're talking to your spouse and you know your spouse, you know what buttons to push. A lot of times we know exactly what buttons to push on a person. So we'll say all of those things to get that person all wrapped up. And then next thing you know, we in a blown out argument. So choose your tone, and then choose the time that you communicate with that person too. So the tone has to be right, and the time or place has to be right.
Uh, for a minute, I thought you said choose the place like 5 o'clock. I'm gonna meet you by the water fountain. That's where we
That's
go and discuss it.
You can. You'd be like, all right, we're gonna finish this conversation. A lot of couples, I've heard a lot of couples say, you right in public. Then when we get home, I'm gonna tell you, babe, you was wrong. You was so dead wrong. In what you said and how you did it. But in public, I'm gonna be in agreement with you. But when we get home, I'm not gonna call you out in public, and they already against you. Now I'm against you, and you look like you out here by yourself. No, But I'm gonna tell you that you're wrong when we get home.
By the time we get home, I'm already probably fuming, and I don't even want to talk to you because you let it go spill out, so start in public. Yeah. Mm-mm.
So you don't agree with being in public and not really addressing the person and be like, even if you try to pull them to the side, if that person is already riled up and other people putting their 2 cents in it, and then you go at them, like that could be worse.
I think if you're in public, you need to hurry up and fix it in public because it could turn real ugly real fast, and neither one of y'all want to be embarrassed in public.
No, if you know how to calm your spouse down, you be like, hey babe, I see that you're upset, but we're gonna talk about this when we get home.
But then you get the I don't want to talk about it when we get I want to talk about why can't we talk about it now?
Because
And you get
again,
all the little sassy attitude and everything else that come with it.
and that's where you have to have with your spouse. That's where the communication should be strong. It should be strong enough to where if I'm your partner and you love me and you trust me, and I'm saying to you, hey, this conversation is done, and we're gonna continue it when we get home. And especially if y'all have like little keywords that you say, and that means okay, shut it down. We'll do this when we get home. It's again, it goes back to communication. I do you have how are y'all communicating at home? And this stuff should be talked about. Hey, babe, if we're out in public and something is happening, how do you want to handle it? That should be a conversation that you have, so that when that happens, you already know how to respond. Now, if he got to pick you up and drag you out of there because you just going, then that's what he has to do. But there should be some type of conversation, and that one person, your person, should be able to calm you down and be like, no, we done.
Now that sounds like a good idea. I'm not really sure how many people has put that into work though. Mm-mm.
Um, I think it varies. Sometimes people, it don't even have to be nothing you say. It could just be a look. Like I give you a look and you already know. Shut it down. Shut it down.
That look like we get the kids when they know they undid something they were supposed to do that.
Like shut this down right now. Sometimes we don't hear the person. We're already ready to respond when they're talking. So sometimes you have to listen to understand and not just be ready to defend right away. Especially if somebody's like giving you some constructive feedback, telling you about yourself or whatever, and you already on the defense. You already thinking of your responses in your head before they even get out what it is that they're saying.
Yep. I could bet you 89%. 89% is right there. Listen to understand. Arguments, nobody wants to listen. They only want to be heard. And that's why the volume starts going up on the conversation every single time because they want to get their point across. And it's like trying to force it into you, and they don't want to listen.
It says 90% of conflicts could be avoided with better listening and tone awareness. 90% of
See,
conflicts can be
what I say, 89. I was right there.
You just have to listen. Be so quick to respond. Be so quick to want to defend ourselves. It says to pause before responding, and think to yourself, is this okay to say this? Let me just think about that for a moment. If it comes out, sometimes you cannot take back what you say. Once it's out there, it's out there. So, okay, is this okay to say? Let me just hold on. Let me think about that for a moment. Give me a moment. And sometimes I do it with my kids. I'll be quiet and I won't say anything, and they be like, "Mom, did you hear me?" I be like, "I heard you." Or if I'm having, sometimes if I'm having a disagreement with people, sometimes I'll just be silent. If it's, especially if it seems like, oh God, this is a no-win situation. And sometimes I'll just be silent and let them just go on and on with what it is
Hmm.
they want to say. And I'll just be silent.
That's just what I do. I'll pause. I'll think about what they said, and I'll wait until I'll ask them, "Are you finished?" And once they're finished, I'll keep a mental note of everything they said and go back over everything what they said or what they were referring to answer their question or to comment or anything, whatever it was, in a nice, sophisticated way where my blood pressure isn't getting raised. I say what I have to say and I walk away.
Yeah. Number two, emotional triggers. Sometimes the pain in our past speaks louder than our partner. So you can't hear your partner because he or she done triggered something already. So now you just like, ooh, I remember that time when so and so did, and you already triggered. The trauma is already there.
Yep, because the first thing they say, my ex, or you know what I've been through. You heard me tell you that in the beginning. He used to do this and she used to do that. And why would you do that to me?
I think a lot of times because we have a big mouth and we tend to tell people all of our traumas and triggers when a lot of it's not even necessary for them to know. It's not necessary.
I agree with you that. But for some reason, everybody want to know about your past. I can't understand that. Are we trying to make a future or are we trying to go backwards?
I say you have to be selective in what you say and how you say it so that it cannot be used against you. I'm not going to tell you that, oh, in my last relationship, yeah, he used to beat me and take my money, and then I would always go back to him. He cheated on me, and I had two, three babies, and I don't know, for some reason I just kept going back to him. I'm not about to tell you that. I'm not. So, number one, because it'll make me look crazy, and then he gonna be like, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah, because he just might try to test you.
So a lot of times women, we run our mouth a lot when we in relationships at the beginning, when we run our mouth a lot. Just sometimes just be quiet and listen to the other person, and you'll learn a lot. Be selective in the information that you let out. That should happen over time. It should not be the first month that we met. You done spilled everything out. No. And this is why, I don't know who I heard this from. When you first start, when you first meet someone and y'all in that dating talking stage, and you have to cut the conversation short. So you give them 30-minute conversations. When y'all talk, don't let it be more than 30 minutes. If it's more than 30 minutes, 9 times out of 10, you're going to start talking about some stuff that you shouldn't. So keep the conversation short. Keep it always like at 30 minutes until time has been vested, where the conversations can be longer and you start to open up more. But when y'all first met, I'm not about to be on the phone with you 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. Girl, we was talking about everything. I just spilled everything out to him because I wanted to be honest. I wanted us to have a clean slate. No.
Why is it you meet somebody and y'all talk for these hours, but when you finally meet them in person, you got nothing to talk about?
Because you
So,
didn't
like
talk
you
about
said,
it.
they're gonna bring out those secrets and those different things because they're trying to keep conversation with you, so you don't seem boring or you don't talk about nothing. Then they don't want to be bothered with you anymore.
Yep, keep the conversation short. They don't have to be that long. We don't have to talk all night. If you talk in 30 minutes versus you talk in 3-4 hours, it's not going to say, oh, our connection is much tighter because we talked. No, it's about quality.
But then the
This is
conversation goes, well, why you got to get off so early?
First of all, boundaries. Okay, set boundaries when you're having a conversation, especially if you have to work, especially ladies if you have kids. Okay, I gotta cut this off at 10 o'clock because I put my kids in bed. I gotta get ready for work tomorrow. Collect myself. There's things I gotta do around the house. So I'm gonna let you go. So we can talk tomorrow.
Mm-mm. You could say all those different things, but then the woman, and I'm only going to say this from experience, she'll go to the girlfriend. He got a wife, don't he? Because every night he got to be off the phone by such and such time, and he always getting off the phone early with me. I still be trying to understand, him and this and that, and looking for the phone.
It's no lie. So don't allow people to trigger your emotions. When emotions run high, logic runs low. And you can't communicate through a wound that hasn't healed. So recognize what your triggers are. And
I
again,
try to tell him.
you don't have to tell the other person what they are. Just you recognize what they are.
ReShell, you think we on here once a month giving advice, telling some deep truths, giving our truths at that. Do you think people listen to what we have to say?
I think there are a lot of, I'm going to say probably no, because a lot of people think they're relationship experts, and I don't claim to be an expert. I just have experience in a relationship trying to get it right. Um, and so, whatever experience I have learned that I see that is working, I share. If I see that it's not working, it may not work for me, but it may work for someone else. So, you know, Serena says yes. Oh, so some people are
Okay. So
benefiting
we're
from
touching
this.
people and saving lives. Nice. Saving relationships.
We appreciate that. I mean, a lot. This is communication. It's all about communicating, whether it be with your kids, your parents, or your spouse. Any relationship you want to be successful, you have to have good communication. I would say effective communication because a lot of times people don't know how to communicate. Serena said it helps. It does. It really does. It really does. So recognize your triggers and don't go bringing up past arguments, past conversations that you have already had, that you have already discussed, and you already agreed on a resolve. And then you go throw it back up in the person's face. Like, don't do that. Learn how to let stuff go. I always say learn how to pick your battles. If you learn how to pick your battles, then you won't be fighting and arguing about everything. You won't. Some stuff you'd be like, oh, he didn't let he left the toilet seat. He left the toilet seat up, and I keep telling him, stop leaving this toilet seat up. Then as soon as he come out the bathroom, you go look. Then you go right behind him, fussing. Like, just put it down. Just put it down. Well, he leaving his socks outside of the hamper. The hamper is right there. Why can't you just put him in the hamper? It's right there. Just pick it up, put it in the hamper. It's just put it in the hamper. And gently say, oh, I noticed that your socks missed the hamper. You missed it. You know, like some stress can be avoided. You know, it could be avoided. And stress is a silent killer, and stress does not determine if this is a good stress or bad. It's stress. So some stress can be avoided.
I just love how you make it sound so easy. Everything what you just said, that's ammo.
But
That is ammo for the next conversation that happens to air you out. Just air you straight out with everything. That is all ammo. That would be very nice for it to happen the way that you said. I feel like that's like the Mary Poppins way. But out here in these streets, it don't go down like that.
Sabrina said, it doesn't matter how many times we say it, we just need to fix it. Exactly. Exactly. And that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Validate feelings. You don't have to agree to acknowledge that person, but validate how they feel. Babe, I hear you. I hear you. And your feelings are valid. You know, say that. Sometimes people just want to be heard. Sometimes people just want you to acknowledge how they feel. Don't dismiss my feelings because they're valid. My feelings are valid. My experience is valid, and it may not be the same as yours. I was telling my daughter that this weekend. She was telling me something, and I said, I hear you. And she was like, well, you may be perceiving it a different way. I said, no, I perceived it how I wanted to perceive it. Now, you may have said it in a certain way, but this is the way I perceived it. So we can't control how people perceive stuff, but you can validate their feelings. You can acknowledge them and don't be dismissive.
My thing is people trying to tell you how to feel. That's the issue I be having.
Yes. You cannot control how someone perceive what you say. Once you say it, again, there's that tone too. Depending on the tone that you say it, you could be like, girl, please, we ain't going there. Or you could be like, girl, please, we are not going there. Like, it's really the tone and how you say stuff is how people really are going to receive it. And if
Actually, I didn't see nothing wrong with either way you just said it.
It depends on the person. And if they don't know who you are, like I said, I'm real sarcastic. So if they don't know, then they tend to be really sensitive and be like, hey, I've had people to come back to me and say, hey, when we was having a conversation, you said X, Y, D, and I was like, girl, it's not that. And I said to myself, it's not that serious. But to them, they took it that, because some people are more sensitive than others, or we have to just watch our tone. If we're communicating with people,
Or they had to prove that you were wrong and they were right.
Two people can be right. Two people can be right.
Okay. Now, back to reality. I don't know what bubble.
I can be right in how I'm communicating it to you, and you could be right in how you receive it.
But whatever information is.
It depends. Yeah, I mean, whatever the information is, it depends on how you receive that information. It depends on how you receive it. And it depends on the person. It works both ways. Communication is not one way. It's a two-way street. So how do we build better communication habits? What are some things that we could do to make sure that we are communicating effectively no matter what relationship we're in? To make sure that people walk away, not triggered, feeling validated, acknowledged, heard, seen.
Well, I know we said a few. Is watching our tone.
I apologize for that. It's probably going to go off again. Just
Yeah, because there's a little cat on there wagging his tail saying, "You're looking for the phone."
Yeah, I know. I don't know why my do not disturb is on, so I'm not sure why it's going on. So, how do we build better communication habits?
Okay.
Did the alarm cut you off? I'm sorry.
Watching our tone. Watching what we say. Knowing our audience. What else did we say?
Know your triggers.
Yeah, the triggers.
And a lot of times you should look at people when they're communicating with you. A lot of times it's like avoidance. You like, and that's disrespectful. If somebody is communicating with you and you are avoiding eye contact, and you're not looking, even if you don't have to stare at them the whole time, but at least like acknowledge them. Look them in the eye, acknowledge them. Like I hear you. Or even if you don't want to say anything, nod. Mhm.
Then the argument become, why you not saying anything? See, this is what I'm talking about.
And then your response is, I'm allowing you an opportunity to get out everything that you want to say without being interrupted.
Now, you heard me earlier say, I let the person say, I'll stop them, say, are you done? Are you finished? So I can respond and walk away. That may be a trigger. I don't know, because every time I do that, it seems like it just makes it worse.
Why would you say that? Are you done? Are you finished? It's like, I feel like you're rushing me.
No, because I want to know before I come in and say anything and respond, I don't want to be cutting you off, because I don't want you cutting me off when I say what I need to say.
It's how you say it. Are you done? Are you finished?
Are you finished?
No, just give them a wait in silence. And if they're not saying anything, okay, I see that you're done.
They ain't never done, especially if they firing off. It ain't never gonna be done.
I swear, I feel like the older I get, the better
You are at
communication
communicating.
skills have gotten. Yes, because I've learned that there's different communication styles for everyone. So, and it's impossible for us to know everybody's communication style. Like maybe the people that are close to you, you may learn their communication style, but the people that are not, you don't know. So then that's when you gotta be cautious.
Gentle.
Yeah, like you have to follow the communication rules so that you won't offend anybody. People don't feel like you are just walking over them. So the main communication styles you have passive aggressive, and assertive. So the passive communications, it said communicators, they avoid expressing their needs. So you may have somebody that don't express what it is that they need, while somebody that's aggressive, they're gonna let you know, oh, you're not gonna be talking to me like that. Oh, that's not gonna happen. This is what. So it just depends on what their communication style is. Look at body language too. A lot of times sometimes if you are so busy trying to get your point out, you're not paying attention to look at body language, look at facial expressions to see what it is that they're doing while you're communicating. The tone in their voice, all of that.
And if they feel like they're about to go for a gun, run.
What? Are you all right? Are you all right?
Okay.
What type of people are you dealing with?
I'm trying to tell you.
What in the world?
I, I mean, look, you just thank God that you haven't encountered these type of people.
What in the world?
It's a lot of crazies out there.
All right. You done made me lose my train of thought with that one. Okay, so what does it look like? Oh, we just talked about that. What does a healthy communication look like? So Rizal already explained to you exactly what it looks like. I would just add patience, respect, respecting, the other person's opinion. You don't have to agree, you know, but just respect what it is that they're saying, allowing them to get it out, and then being patient to allow them to say what it is that they need to say. Without rolling your eyes while they're talking in the back of their head. They talking and you just like,
Yes, sir, because that's just going, ooh, that's going to make it worse.
you looking like, hurry up.
You almost ready to knuckle up at that point.
Like, what are we doing? No. It says use I statements instead of you pointing the finger, you did this, you did that. How I perceive what you said was not you said, and then it says be specific in addressing the behavior and not the person.
Hmm. Be specific, address the behavior and not the person. Well, isn't the behavior coming from the person?
Yes, but if you addressing the person, then they're gonna take offense to it. So you want to address the behavior instead. You don't agree with that? Address the behavior. You don't agree with
I don't think I agree with this one.
that? It could be
It's
something. It could be something they did, and the behavior could be because they're upset about something or something happened, and so they act out. And so you adjust the behavior. I noticed that you got really angry when we had to wait, when the usher told us we had to go get in the back of the line to wait, to get into the movie theaters, like you just started, cussing and going off, like address the behavior. And not the person, like you horrible. I can't believe you actually went off on that. Like, it's just the way that you say stuff to people.
I think everybody needs to work on their communication skills and their anger and how they express it because it comes out a lot in every disagreement. And it's almost a time like when to know to argue and when not to argue. Knowing that everything is not your battle and everything is not for you. And you're wasting energy, you're wasting time with things that probably is not going to change anyway.
And I would say the older that I get, I tend not to sugarcoat. And that could be a problem too. I tend not to sugarcoat like what I say. So sometimes I just be like, I try not to walk around with like kid gloves on because sometimes people need to hear things, but it's just how you say it, when you say it, and where you say it. But I'm gonna say it.
I do say it. Get it off your chest. Don't hold it back.
And this one says speak from love and not ego. The goal is connection and not control.
That's a good one.
So I think when you take a step back and you evaluate what it is that you want to say and how to say it, especially to the people that you love, I think that comes from a place of love, and not ego. Oh, I'm just going to say it because this is how it feels on my chest, and they're not going to be doing me like this. And you just want to get it out. You just want to get your point out. You want them to hear it. You want it to sting. Mm-mm.
You want to get
You
it
want
out, but you want them to understand what you're saying to them.
all right. You just right on the next point. Do you think you communicate more to understand or to be understood?
Ooh, Lord, let the church say amen.
I would say both.
I will say both also.
Yeah, to be honest. Yeah, because I want to be able to understand the person that's communicating with me. I want to be able to understand where they're coming from when they're communicating with me, so that I can have empathy if necessary to understand them.
If it fits.
If it fits that situation, and to be understood, so when I'm communicating with someone, you know, I want them to be able to listen to understand me and not already formulating an answer before I even told you the main problem. And again, sometimes people be communicating and venting not so you can solve their problem. Sometimes they just want to get it out.
Yeah, yeah.
You want
They
to get
just
it out.
need to tell somebody, say what they need to say, and they'll feel better and move on.
And so you be like, so how can I help you with this situation? Like, what is it that you need me to do? And sometimes they be like, nothing, girl, nothing. I needed somebody to listen. Okay, and you don't even have to agree. You may not even agree with them, so you don't have to be like, girl, yeah, I agree. If you don't agree, you know, you be like, you're valid in how you feel. Like those are your feelings.
I am really glad that we do this show from our own self experiences. Experience is the best teacher. And we pass this on to other people about their relationships and how challenging, yes, they are. It's not the relationship, it's the people.
Mm-hmm.
If
Exactly.
we get the people on board and to understand and listen, we'll have a lot more better relationships out there.
And I would say you never stop learning. Always be a student, willing to learn something new to make yourself better, so you can operate it at your best self. So, what's the biggest communication challenge in relationships? We can even make it personal because it could be different for different people.
Listening for me, listening, the other person listening.
I would say, yeah, listening, being selective and knowing how to filter out the things that um, may not be necessary.
Well, you have to stop because I got people, I think about some of my past arguments. They key in on certain words and certain things and don't listen to the entire thing. And then when they rebuttal, they only talk about that one thing. And it's like, I just said a whole paragraph. You're not saying anything about what I said. You were only listening so you can respond back to me. And you didn't get none of what I said.
Yeah, because sometimes people offer a lot of details and like it's not even necessary. It's like they trying to plead their case so you can agree with them. And you're like, but the key point here was you ran that red light and the police pulled you over. Yeah, but I had a bad day before that and then a hard day at work and I was stressed. And right before the police pulled me over, girl, they had called me and told me they had took my mom to the emergency room. And okay, just pay your ticket. So the biggest challenge and the biggest communication challenge in relationships today, you're saying listening.
For me, I believe it's listening.
I would agree with listening and just not being so quick to respond. Like just hear people out, hear them before you just formulate your answer or come to a conclusion. Even if you gotta tell that person, let me get back to you. Let me let this process and let me get back to you.
They need to listen to understand. But they a lot of times be so hot headed, they're not listening to understand you. They let you say what you need to say so their ego can take over and then they can control the conversation.
Mm. Remember, it's about connecting and not controlling. So, if you are listening or you are kind and rewind the show, drop one word in the chat that describes your communication style. I would say my one word would be process. It's a process for me because I'm not perfect at it, but I'm still learning and I'm open to becoming better at communication.
Hmm. I think my word would be heartfelt. Yeah, I don't know why that is resonating with me. Yep. Because usually when I have these conversations, I'm speaking from the heart. And I want you to understand what my heart feels and what I'm saying to you. Yeah. I'm going to stick with heartfelt.
Communication isn't just about and is a chance to build or break the bond. So make sure that you choose your words wisely and your words are used to heal and not harm the other person. Because what does the Bible say? Power. There's power in the tongue, right? That's life and death in the power of the tongue. So be careful what you say and how you say it. Rizal, you want to give us some words of wisdom? I know you have already dropped some gems already.
And it's funny, I know at every end of the show, you're going to ask me the same question. And sometimes, but I'm kind of ready. So what I've been thinking, my words of wisdom is a lot of people are correct in what they say, but their method is wrong. That's it.
Awesome. I'm going to get biblical. I'm going to go to James 1:19. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and even slower to become angry. All right, you guys, that is a wrap for Warriors Talk Relationship Monday. And we talked about communication versus confrontation. Rizal, thank you so much for co-hosting with me. I appreciate you.
Always a pleasure.
You guys, if you would like to be a guest on Warriors Talk, please inbox me at warriorstalk1@gmail.com, or you can send me a message on Facebook saying that you're ready to share your story. You can always pick up the anthology. It was just released in the month of October, When Warriors Talk Faith Emerges, Letting Go and Letting God Transform Our Journeys. I have 4 amazing authors sharing their story of surrendering to God and allowing their faith to emerge. You can pick up my journal. It's for cancer survivors, those who are going through treatment. It's the Take Charge of Cancer journal. It's a guided journal for healing, faith, and empowerment. I always say cancer is not a death sentence, but it is an awakening to live your best life. I want to highlight my closing sponsor, which is Gloria Dotson with Mary Kay. She's catering to all of your beauty needs from head to toe. You can go to marykay.com/GDOTSON and make sure you tell her that Warriors Talk sent you. As always, join me next Monday at 6 p.m. right here on Intellectual Radio. Thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell. Co-hosting with me today is Rizal Gilmore, a.k.a. The Biz. Warriors Talk is changing lives one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk, the number 1, on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on intellectualradio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we encourage, educate,